Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Elizibar. We're going to talk about Taarna issue 5. And we're going to get very spoilery very quickly. But not just yet. So, I kind of like the cover. Like, the armor thing doesn't really bother me. And one thing that didn't bother me until now was her talking. Like, that didn't bother me in previous issues. And I'm pretty sure she talked in the last one. And then somebody pointed out, she's talking and that's weird. And now it bothers me. Now, I gotta admit, I have not read enough Taarna stories in heavy metal to know if she ever talks, or even if she wore like super cool armor. I'm sure she probably wore some super cool armor at some point. So this armor doesn't really bother me, but the talking, like if you just go based on her characterization in the movie, like she doesn't do that. And I don't know if that's something she does in any of the other stories she's in or what, but that now bothers me. Maybe that bothers you. Now the last Taarna miniseries from what was that 2018 when that started, and then it finished up like a year later because it was like a 9 month gap between issues 3 and 4 or something ridiculous. I don't think she talked at all in that one, and that made it really awkward. It's kind of hard to drive a narrative forward when somebody doesn't talk, you know? So I can understand, like, talking is definitely a shortcut to making your life as a writer easier. But you know what? The stuff going on in this, I did have fun just like flipping through, reading this, looking at the stuff. Here she is, like, putting down one of the warriors from Urkus's army who survived the battle somehow. And you know, kind of looking at it, her talking doesn't even need to happen. Like everything that's said in here, if you took it out, it doesn't need to be present. So I'm not sure why it is. If somebody's talking, they should be saying something that matters. Anyway, I like the art for the most part, and I like the pacing of the book, and I'm disappointed in the ending of the book. And that's where this review needs to stop. If you want to stick around for me to spoil it a little bit, then stick around. We'll start the spoilers here. So 5 seconds, all right? So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so spoiler time. So here she is. She's defeated the army. Uh, she like kills Urkus or stabs him, and that resurrects like this giant statue, which the evil orb, which is not called the Lochnar here, it's called Kako. I don't know if those are the same thing. Takes over, flies off. Taarna chases it, gets swatted down. Boom. Then she has like a final kind of good confrontation with Urkus. There's some good meaty stuff in these action sequences that I've really enjoyed. I don't remember her being able to shoot like lasers out of her hand though. That like just popping off a Kamehameha, that seems kind of weird. But you know what? I'm willing to let that one go, man. I'm willing to let that one go. So this all looks very satisfying, right? Like, oh man, she has a great confrontation. Except the problem is, the evil dude in the giant like golem body that it stole out of that vault that Urkus opened up, which is apparently what this whole thing was about, it gets away. It goes away. It survives. And then we kind of circle back to the beginning, which that's a good thing. If your story goes back to the beginning, you're just following like Joseph Campbell's mythology. You have to return back to the beginning, and now, boom, you've completed the hero's journey. So we go back to the beginning, although Taarna doesn't, and it shows up there. It's still alive. It's still got the giant body, and we didn't resolve anything. She has not defeated the evil. In fact, this whole miniseries, everything she's gone through, the bad guy won. The bad guy got exactly what the bad guy wanted. Now she's dealt with like one of the minions. This is the last issue of the miniseries. It's issue 5. See, it says right up here, finale. If I go to the last page of the book, we get. I'm trying to show you as little of the page as possible. We get Finn. It's done. You've given me a book which does not have a next issue, which does not have like an announced successor miniseries or anything. And you're just maybe there is supposed to be another miniseries. I haven't heard of it though, so yeah, I don't know. But you've given me a story that doesn't actually have an ending, and that totally wrecks it. It took everything that we had done so far and drove it right off the road into the ditch, crashed the car. The car's now on fire. Gasoline is leaking out of the gas tank. It's going to explode pretty soon. It's like Mad Max. We got somebody like chained up in there. You know, he's like handcuffed in, and we just threw him a hacksaw. Like that's where we're at in the story, and then the story ends. It's totally unsatisfying. It really kind of takes all the good stuff that has happened in the story and just goes, yeah, you know, all this struggle and stuff, none of it mattered because the bad guy won. Now, if there was an issue 6 coming out, or it had ended with to be continued in Taarna, War of Kako, or whatever, a 4-part miniseries event coming in 2022, like, that's different. You're telling me that there's going to be more. Now, they did, in character, kind of say, oh, our struggle is never ending, and blah, 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 when she's fighting, you know, the evil dude. But that's the kind of stuff bad guys say all the time. You know, it's one of those standard retorts like, you're just like me. You know, that kind of stuff that bad guys say. Oh, we're like you and I. And then you kung fu battle, right? So that was very disappointing at the end. And I'm a little disappointed. And that's where I've gotten to in my Taarna issue 5 reading. Uh, an unresolved ending makes me wish I hadn't read it at all. Now, that's kind of silly because I enjoyed a lot of the stuff in the books along the way. I had a lot of fun reading the books. So that's just kind of like, you know, that knee-jerk reaction, but that's kind of how I feel, you know? And I wish they hadn't done that. You could even have just like had the giant suit of armor like crash or whatever and ended off with like Taarna standing triumphantly over that or something. And that would have been okay. And then if you wanted to like pick it up next time, you just have like the orb suddenly appear at the like beginning of the next issue, or yeah, you know, no, I'm not going to go into it any further. So that's my spoilery what I think about this with the extra size 30-page finale. You all take care of yourselves. Did we change artists again? You know, honestly, I have no idea how many artists have worked on this book. That's kind of silly. Take care of yourselves. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye bye.